Good morning to third BCom Computers and General students. We are going to learn about the important questions and answers of Banking Theory and Practice, Unit 2. Okay, the subject is Banking Theory and Practice, and we are going to learn the important questions and answers for the examinations which are going to appear, which are going to come, and where you should also concentrate and revise on that. Okay, we are going to listen. You are going to listen the question and answer of unit 2. So here the question is, explain in detail about the regional rural banks in India. What is the question is about the regional rural banks, RRBs. So regional rural banks, if you talk about, regional rural banks are Indian scheduled commercial banks. What is the meaning of scheduled commercial banks? The banks which are entered in the second schedule of the RBI Act. Second section schedule of the RBI Act 1934, the bank which is entered and which has a paid up capital of 5 lakhs, and the bank which is working for all the Indian depositors comes under the scheduled bank. Okay, it is also called as a government bank operating at a regional level in different states of India. It is working at all the regions of India as well as states in India. They have been created with a view of serving primarily the rural areas of India with the basic banking and financial services. The main intention to start this regional rural banks for serving primarily the rural areas of India with basic banking and financial services. Regional rural banks, however, the RRBs may branches set up for urban operations, and their area of operation may include urban areas also. These banks also serves urban areas. The area of operations of RRB is limited to area as notified by Government of India covering one or more districts in state. So the regional rural banks which are started with the approval of the Government of India, which are there in all the states, they are covering maximum the rural areas which or the districts which are covering maximum rural areas. So these regional rural banks started with opinion of Narasimham Committee. Narasimham Committee is the main reason for starting the regional rural banks in India, which are serving almost all the rural areas and their problems existing. In early 1970, there was a growing realization that benefits of the cooperative system has not reached all the states of farmers. Many people think in 1970s that the finance or the financial process which has been started by the government is not able to reach to all the states and their farmers. The public sector banks, due to constraint of manpower, resources and high cost of operation, were not able to satisfy the credit needs of the rural population. The banks were not able to satisfy the rural population. So in 1975, the central government appointed a working committee. I am telling you the history. I am telling you the history of regional rural banks. What I am telling you, history of regional rural banks. In 1975, the central government appointed a working group under the leadership of M. Narasimham to review the flow of institutional credit to weaker sections. Means this group, which is under the leadership of Narasimham, want to know about the credit flow, how it is moving to all the areas of rural. So they are being appointed of the rural primarily community and new device. So this group observed that the cooperative institutions and commercial banks would not be able to fill the credit gap within the reasonable time. What they understood is, this group observed that the credit what is provided by the Government of India is not able to reach through these cooperative banks or commercial banks to the farmers in order to fulfill their gap of credit. Therefore, this committee recommended a new type of institutions which could combine the local knowledge and familiarity with the rural problems. So, they want to start a new type of cooperative sectors which are going to help this rural area specially. So, central government started an ordinance in 1975 for establishing the regional rural banks. The first 5 regional rural banks were established on October 2nd, 1975. The first regional rural banks started in 1975 on October 2nd. The ordinance was replaced then as called as a regional rural banks in 1976. Actually, it is a group of 5 banks. This regional rural bank, before it started, it was a group of 5 banks, and that 5 banks are called as a imperial banks or ordinance bank. In 1975, October 2nd, they started. Later on, they renamed in 1976 as regional rural banks. So here you can see the history also and the provisions of ordinance passed on 26 September 1975. The RRB Act 1976 to provide sufficient banking and credit facility for agriculture and other rural sectors. So in 1976, ordinance has been changed into RRBs. Before ordinance, when the ordinance started on 26th September 1975 it started, but it has came into implementation on October 2nd 1975. The thought of ordinance passed in 26th September 1975, but they came into implementation on October 2nd 1975 and they renamed in 1976 as RRBs. Why the RRB started to provide the sufficient banking and credit facilities for agriculture and rural sectors. As a result, 5 regional rural banks changed. There was set up on recommendations of the Narsimham Committee Working Group. During the tenure of Indira Gandhi's government, with a review to include rural areas into economic mainstream. Since that time, about 70% of Indian population was of rural orientation. Till that time, the rural orientation was 70% in India. Has developed the process of RRB started on 2nd October 1975, Gandhi Jayanti, the forming of the 5 RRBs. First RRB, the Pratima Bank. Head office at Moradabad, UP, with an authorized capital of rupees 5 crores. At its starting, Pratima Bank was sponsored. Prathama Bank was sponsored by Syndicate Bank, and the second on 2nd October 1975, out of the remaining 4 RRBs in the country, one was set up at Malda in West Bengal under the name of Gaur Grameen Bank. Sponsored bank UCO Bank, which was the first RRB in eastern region of India. Recapitalization of this RRB, if you see subsequent to review of the financial status of RRB, the Union Finance Minister in August 2009, it was reported that a large number of RRBs at low capital to risk weighted asset ratio. A committee was therefore constituted in September 2009 under the chairmanship of K.C. Chakrabarti, Deputy Governor, RBI, to analyze the financials of RRB and to suggest measure including recapitalization to bring the CRAR of RRBs at least 90% in a sustainable manner by 2012. So before the recapitalization, the capital structure of RRB, if you talk before the recapitalization, the authorized capital of RRB was 1 crore. In that, paid up capital was 25 lakhs. Out of this, 50% is given by central government, 15% by the state government, and 35% by the sponsor bank. I repeat, out of this 1 crore, 50% was sponsored by central government, 15% was sponsored by state government, 35% by the sponsor bank. At present, the formula subscription has been changed, that is 60:20:20, means 60% by central government, 20% by state government, and 20% by the sponsor bank. The central government contributes is made through NABARD. How the central government is funding to the RRB is through the system or a bank called as a NABARD, the Apex Bank of Agricultural Development. Okay, the issued capital has been enhanced up to 75 lakhs and in certain cases up to 1 crore. When you talk about the management, the general superintendent's direction and management of the affairs and business of RRBs, they have 9 members of board of directors. How many members? 9 members of board of directors. The central government nominates 3 directors. The central government nominates how many directors? 3 directors. And the state government has 2 directors. And the sponsor bank is, from the sponsor bank, 3 directors. The chairman is usually an office of sponsor bank but appointed by the central government. So 3 are coming from central government, 3 are coming from sponsor bank, 2 are coming from the state bank, and 1 person is appointed as the chairman. Again, this person is selected from sponsor bank. The board of directors is required to act as a business principles and act on business principles and in accordance with the directives and guidelines issued by RBI. So these chairmen and the directors who are going to run this RRB, that is a regional rural banks, should follow all the directive principles, guidelines which are given by RBI. At the state level coordination committee has also been formed to have uniformity and approach of RRBs. When you talk about resources, means from where the RRB is getting the finances, from which places it is getting the funds. First and the foremost thing is the capital is coming in the form of share capital, deposits from the public, borrowings from the sponsored banks, refinance from the NABARD. 4 types of sources. First one is what? Share capital. Second one is deposits from the public. Third one is borrowings from the sponsor banks. And the fourth one is refinance facility which is provided by the NABARD. The Reserve Bank of India has put RRBs on par cooperative banks for providing refinance to all the cooperative sectors which are controlled. So operations, if you talk, there are 2 main operations, but before that, objectives. The main objective of the RRB was to provide credit and other facilities mainly to small and marginal farmers, agricultural laborers and artisans who had by the large not been adequately served by existing credit institutions who are not able to get the credit facility from the RRBs. Especially for those people, they should provide the agricultural credit facilities. Farmers, agricultural laborers, artisans, small farmers, they should get this. Okay. Organization of RRB. RRBs are established by sponsor bank, usually a public sector bank. The steering committee of the RRB identifies the districts requiring. Later, the central government with the consultancy of the state government and sponsor bank set up RRBs. Okay, the capital of RRBs already we said 60:20:20, 60% by central government, 20% by state government and 20% by the sponsor bank. There are mainly 2 operations for this. The committee submitted its report in May 2010. This is about the recapitalization. The following points were recommended by the committee. RRBs to have CRAR of at least 7%. What is CRAR? Capital to risk weighted assets. What is CRAR? CRAR is capital to risk weighted assets ratio. Capital to risk weighted assets ratio is CRAR. So RRBs to have CRAR at least 7% as of 31st March 2011, means that ratio should be 7%. The people who are at the asset losses, for them 70% of the capital should be given. Means 77% should be provided for this risk benefits. Recapitalization requirement of rupees 2,200 crores for 40 of 82 RRBs. This amount is to be released in 2 installments in 2010 and 11 and 12. The remaining 42 crores, that is RRBs, 42 RRBs, the remaining 42 RRBs will not require any capital and will be able to maintain CRAR at least 9% of 31st 2012 and thereafter on their own. A fund of 100 crores to be set up for training and capacity building of RRB staff. Even for training the staff also they are giving 100 crores. Next, the Government of India recently approved the recapitalization of regional rural banks to improve their capital to the risk weight assets in following manner. Share capital of the central government is 1100 crores will be released as per provisions made by the Department of Expenditure, that is 2011 and 12. However, the release of the Government of India share will be contingent on proportionate release of state government and sponsor bank share. A capacity building fund will be corpus of 100 crores to set up the central government with NABARD for training and capacity building. It is giving 100 crores. In the next point, what is telling is additional amount of 700 crores or contingency fund to meet the requirement of the weak RRB. 700 crores is given for developing the underdeveloped or the RRBs which are at loss, particularly in which regions? Northeastern and eastern regions of India. Organizational structure, if you talk about, these are the so many members working as under the organizational structure of RRB. First and foremost is board of directors, chairman and managing directors, general managers, assistant general managers, regional managers, chief managers, senior manager, office assistant and office and attendant. Overall we have 9 directors. Okay, 3 from central, 3 from state, 2 from state government, and 1 is acting as a chairman appointed from the sponsor bank by the central government. Structure, the authorized capital of RRB is fixed at rupees 1 crore and its issued capital is 2 lakhs, and 50% is to be subscribed by the central government, 15% by the state government, and 35% has been sponsored bank. Now this has been changed to 60:20:20. The working and the affairs of the RRBs are directed and managed by board of directors consisting of chairman, 1 chairman, 3 directors who are nominated by central government, and 2 directors nominated by the state government, and 3 directors nominated by the sponsor bank. The chairman is appointed by central government and its term is only for 5 years. Functions of RRBs, first and the foremost point, granting of loans and advances, especially to whom they are granting? To small and marginal farmers, agricultural laborers, whether individually or in groups. Individually also they can lend the loans, and to the cooperative societies, agricultural processing societies, cooperative farming societies, primarily for agricultural purpose or for agricultural operations and other related purpose. First and the foremost point is this. Second is granting of loans and advances to the artisans, small entrepreneurs and persons of the small means engaged in trade, commerce and industry and or other productive activities within the area of the corporation. The objective of the regional rural banks, if you see, bridging the credit gaps where in rural areas, especially in the rural areas, and to develop such measures which could restrict the outflow of the rural deposits of urban areas. Area of functioning of the regional rural banks, if you see, the regional rural banks are required to function within a limit area for which they are established. Usually the functional area of each RRB is confined to few districts of the state in which they are set up. The area of functioning of RRBs is decided by whom it is decided? Central government in consultation with NABARD and the sponsor banks by the notification issued in this regard. It is therefore necessary for the RRBs to establish their head office in a central place of their notified area of functioning, because they are also authorized to open their branches or appoint agency with their specified areas. Sponsorship of regional rural banks. Each rural bank is sponsored by public sector. A sponsor bank in relation to the regional bank is bank. Such a sponsor, its duty is to assist the following thing: subscribing to the share capital, training personnel of regional banks, Share capital, it want to request and it want to collect from the people, and it want to give the training to the people who are working in the regional rural banks, and providing managerial and financial assistance to RRBs. It is also providing, who is providing, sponsoring banks should provide the financial as well as the managerial assistance to RRBs. Functions of regional rural banks, if you talk about, all the regional rural banks are authorized to carry on to transact the business of banking as defined in the Banking Regulation Act of 1949. RRBs grant loans to small and marginal farmers, agricultural laborers, cooperative societies, and to individual including artisans, small entrepreneurs and persons of small means. Accepting deposits from public, providing credit, remittance services means extraordinary services provided by Kisan Credit Card, okay, credit facilities, updated information about the facilities which are provided by the banks, and all the types of techniques needed, methods needed for flow of cash for the farmers. They can also invest in government securities and deposit schemes of banks and financial institutions. Regional rural banks may also seek refinance facilities provided by the NABARD for loans sanctioned and disbursed by them. Regional rural banks may also seek the refinance from where? From NABARD also they are getting the finance. All the RRBs are covered under DIGC scheme, and they also required to observe the RBI stipulations for cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. The Reserve Bank of India has brought all the RRBs under the ambit of priority sector lending up to April 1997. Like all the other commercial banks, RRBs are bound to provide 40% of the net bank credit to priority sector, out of which 25% of services advances to 10% to the net banking credit is to be given to the weaker sections. So these are the few points of NABARD. NABARD is one of the important answer for your final examinations. Yeah, if I forget any points under this, please remember some changes has been brought in this NABARD also. NABARD is also providing the microfinance facilities. It is providing the microfinance to all the people through the self-help groups. The Regional Rural Bank Bill has been amended in 2013. The bill seeks to increase the authorized capital from up to 50 billions. Presently, the authorized capital of RRB is 50 billions and 5 billions also provided by issued capital. The Microfinance Institutions Development and Regulation Bill 2012 also is a new amendment which is started for the growth and the development of the financial institutions. It also requires microfinancial institutions. Even ATM cards, credit cards are provided, and authorized dealership in foreign exchange is provided to the people who are working under the people who are taking the loans under regional rural banks. Some problems are also existing in regional rural banks. What the problems existing in the regional rural banks are: poor credit deposit ratio. No one is going to deposit. Maximum people are taking the loans, but they're not depositing the amount. Continuous losses. If the people are not able to repay the loans, there is going to be a loss. So continuous losses. Poor recovery. If you go and demand for the recovery, farmers are committing the suicides. So that type of problems are also existing. Poor recovery, delay in decision making, capital inadequacy, staff incapabilities, and too much restrictions. So many problems are also faced by RRBs, but there are 84 RRBs existing in India. So I request all the students to concentrate on this answer and note down the answer and revise the answer properly. Thank you. Thank you, students.